My most humble pronounce at the lotus feet of our beloved Lord. Sairam to all. My heartfelt apologies for not having posted anything in the last 2 months. I was in Bangalore in a hospital for treatment for my acute knee problem. I was there for more than a month and now finally I have come back. My knees are healed and God willing I will not need any knee replacement. I pray to Swami for that. Anyway, now let me get back to my videos again. This time the story is about Swami's robes. You know, when I was a student in Swami's college, in those days, Swami used to wear many multicolored robes, different shades of maroon, peach, pink color, and all that. And we students one day decided that we want to gift Swami a robe. So we went about, and in those days the robes used to be made of silk. So we went outside and looked for some silk fabric. We found one in a shade of mustard yellow, like the pitambar color that Lord Krishna used to wear. So we got the material and then we searched around and we found that there was a tailor in those days. His name was Narayanappa and he used to stitch the robes for Swami, it seems. So we gave the material to him and he made a beautiful robe with it. And we had it all packed and ready, and we also got a silk dhoti for Swami to wear under his robe. So we had it all gift wrapped, and in those days sometimes Swami used to allow us to go up to his dining room on the other side of the veranda on the first floor. So we girls went in one day and Swami was gracious enough to take the robe. But he opened it and looked at it and made a face, because I think he didn't like the color, which is not the color that he normally wears. But anyway, a few days later, Swami, just to make us happy, he wore that mustard yellow robe and came for darshan. And we girls were in the seventh heaven that Swami accepted it and he wore it. So the story with the robe continues. And what happened was, and for his Swami's 60th birthday in 1985, Swami gave his robes to all the staff and students. Like hundreds and thousands of robes were distributed one day. And unfortunately or fortunately, I was one of the few who did not get a robe for him, and I was very upset that, I did not get, because to get a robe from Swami is a very great blessing, isn't it? So I was a little sad and I told my husband I didn't get it. So he said, never mind, it is okay. And later on I came to know from one of the brothers who was holding the robe for Swami to distribute. In the evening, it seems he went to Swami's room and he told Swami, Swami, I did not get a robe. And Swami looked at him and said, Ayyo, Papam, poor fellow, I only have this robe that I am wearing and I have one to wear tomorrow. Do you want this one? And the boy said, no, I don't want, Swami, it is okay. And then Swami told him very softly, this is a parting gift. Many of those who get the robes will leave Swami and go away, but at least they will have something as a blessing from me. And it is very true that many of the students and the devotees who got this robe are no more coming to Swami for whatever the reason, they have stopped coming or situations have changed for them. And when I heard this, I was very happy. I did not get a robe. I never wanted to leave Swami and go anywhere. And, my greatest blessing has been that I am still here. I'm living on his hallowed land and I do not want to go anywhere from here. Then sometime later, Swami came in my dream and he said, I don't have any robes. I want you to make 3 robes for me. So you go to Bangalore and get it done, he said. So I went to Bangalore. I had no idea where to buy this material for Swami. And in those days, Swami had stopped wearing the silk ones and he was always wearing only orange cotton robes. Of course, the dhoti used to be silk, but the robes were mostly cotton. And I went to Bangalore, and I was just walking down Commercial Street. This is one of the main streets in Bangalore, the shopping area, long before the malls and all came. So I was just walking up and down and asking Swami, show me where I should find this robe material. And suddenly in front of one shop there was this big picture of Shirdi Baba. So I said, okay, this is a sign for me. And I entered that shop, and as soon as I walked in, on a table was displayed three rolls of orange cloth, slightly different shades. There were 3 rolls just spread out over the table. So I went near that, and one of the staff from the shop came up to me, and I was just feeling the fabric, and he looked at me and he said, robe for Swami. And it was like, oh my God, Swami is really confirming. So he said, you need 3.3 meters for Bhagwan's robe. And I said, okay, fine. Then I said, you cut 3 of these robe material, slightly different shades of orange. So I found this material, and then I came back. And there is a shop in Bangalore called Vijay Lakshmi's, which is a very old, beautiful shop. They deal with designer, Kanjipuram saris and all kinds. It's right on MG Road. So I went there, and they sell these orange and white colored dhotis with Angavastram, for the priest and people for weddings and ceremonies. So I picked up 3 of the dhotis also for Swami, and I got this robe stitched and I sent it to Swami. So this was the first time. Then later on one day Swami said, I want you to make a robe for me, but I want you to stitch it by hand. So I said, okay. So I went to my tailor who makes Swami's robe, and I told him, you please cut the fabric for me because I cannot do it perfectly. And then you just do the stitches on the shoulder and the armhole, because that will not stay strong if I have to do it by hand. So he just did that and gave it to me. And it took me about a week to sit quietly and do all the stitches on that robe by hand very neatly. Took a long time, and then I understood that this was like a sadhana for me, that I had to say Om Shri Sai Ram, Om Shri Sai Ram, and do the stitches for the whole robe. So this robe was also made and sent to Swami. So this robe thing started from those time, and it continued through many years. And I would, get the message from Swami that he wanted a particular number. Sometimes it would be 5, sometimes 7, sometimes 11, things like that. And mostly over the later years, Swami started asking for these robes just before Shivratri. And I continued to send it. And then later on I found out this Vijayalakshmi place. I asked them whether they can make special dhotis for Swami with very big gold borders, and they said, of course we can do it, but then they told me that they can only do like 9 at a time. When they give it to the weavers, the whole thing comes out like so many meters, enough for 9 dhotis. So I used to go there and buy, as many as I wanted, and this continued over the many years. Finally, what happened was, it was the year 2011, and I did not get any message from Swami. And the Shivratri was coming up. Swami also has not been well. Hardly there were darshans. Some days he would come, some days he wouldn't come. And Swami had actually become very weak in the wheelchair. It was a very sad time for all the devotees. And he did not give me any message how many robes he wanted that year for Shivratri. And finally, just a day or 2 before Shivratri, I was sitting and meditating, and I asked Swami, you have not told me there isn't any time, in 2 days it is Shivratri. And then I just heard him say very gently, no need to send any robes this year. And I said, oh. So I did not send anything. This proved so prophetic because 2 months later, Swami left his body and he knew he would not be needing any more new robes. And for whatever the reasons, I don't know, it was a beautiful journey for me to make robes for my beloved mother, for my beloved Swami. And I feel very blessed that Swami accepted all the robes that I made for him. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please share, continue to support me. Swami bless you all.